We're live again. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Where? Facebook or YouTube?
We are live in our YouTube channel, and this is the first part of light webinar.
YouTube.com. Fantastic.
And I think, yeah.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, you saw it, huh? Good. And I think, yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, you saw it, huh? Good. I hear my name, I hear my voice. Oh, you saw it, huh? I hear my name, I hear my voice. Yeah, you need to wearing headphones, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get my headphones too.
We will demonstrating some pictures from our work and from workshops that we have made, and we will talk about how we made it, what light we used, if it was ambient or artificial or whatever. So Kera, I think he will share some images first, and he will explain what he was thinking and how he used the light on them.
So, how many people now? You know?
Now we have 10 people watching.
So we need to wait for a while?
No, because it's going to be in our YouTube channel, so we can share from there anyway. The last webinar we made last week, we had like maybe 450 hours views. So that means that more than, I don't know, more than 500 watching this episode of our webinar last week.
Maybe they watch again and again.
maybe, huh? Like Matrix.
Yeah.
It's difficult to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we have 15 people right now.
Maybe few more minutes.
Yeah, wait a little bit.
Maybe we play some video.
Yeah,
you
Nick,
have a video to play?
The Bali. You didn't play the Bali. You play?
I played the Bali last time. Yeah.
No, I think you play through the YouTube and no sound, right?
Yeah, because I'm wearing AirPods. That's why we can't hear the sound. I need to unplug the AirPods from my Bluetooth to hear the sound. But they can find the Bali video as well in our YouTube channel. I have uploaded there.
Can?
Maybe.
Yeah, I uploaded there. So yeah, I don't think this year we're gonna have a Bali because for the situation right now, it's all over the world. It's start to taking out the lockdown. I mean, Greece is taking out the lockdown on Monday. On Monday, we are going out for the first time after, I don't know, 40 days or something like that.
Greece is taking out?
Yeah. Slowly. I mean, on 4th of May, taking out, 11th of May, some schools start to opening and hairstyling. 18th of May, small coffee shops, and 1st of June, restaurants. So hopefully by May, end of May, will be almost 70%, 60%. No, not everything, because we need also flights. We need to start having flights, man.
Yeah.
But no July, I think July will be the month that people start traveling again, slowly, but in July, that's what I think. That's what I hope. So maybe this August we are not going to have the Bali retreat that we are planning to have, but for sure we're going to have it next year, even better.
Thailand. But we have the Thailand, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, Thailand is hopefully August. Thailand, yeah.
Hopefully August.
Yeah. So yeah, Kera.
Yeah. How many people? Okay, we start now.
25.
Okay. So I share screen.
Okay, let me approve, and
Oh, you need to approve. Okay.
okay, I did.
Like this. Okay. Where's my screen? Okay, here. Okay. So okay, let me start first. So I just want to share 3 of my photos. The first one is one of my favorite. Always I would love to shoot some night Milky Way starry night for my clients, and especially when we travel to those locations far away from the cities. So this one you can see all the cities light from far away, but still we can see very clearly the star, the Milky Way. And the first thing, if you want to shoot this kind of beautiful Milky Way, you need to know when is the full moon. So the month of the full moon, and also you need to, maybe you can download the apps, the applications to find the directions. The directions from your apps is going to tell you where is the Milky Way. So just go through by your phone, and then with the Wi-Fi, that's it. So you can see the most beautiful part of the Milky Way is quite long. So
I don't know.
my focal length.
You hear Kera? Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's not stable.
yeah.
We can't.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
not
can see my
stable.
focal
You're-
length here.
Yeah, I'm okay, but Kera is buffering again.
I think we're okay, right?
I-
You can hear me?
I can hear you and I can hear myself, but Kera is always buffering. Yeah, I've seen many people are talking about can't hear, and
It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll ask him repeat, or we'll ask him to reconnect.
yeah, Kera? No, Kera is not online or something like that. Kera,
Oh,
your Wi-Fi is
not stable.
yeah, not stable. Kera is lagging. That's what they said. Maybe Kera, I'm taking you out and you
Join
log in
again.
again. Join again. I remove you
Tell him in a group.
and just give me some.
Meanwhile, we just received from our good friend from Puerto Rico, Juan Jose Rivera Lebron. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy. Can't wait to see you again next time.
and
Puerto
Jason
Rico.
is on group as well.
Jason is?
Ciao
Oh,
and stable.
yeah.
Jason.
Jason, see you later at 11, all right?
Okay, so let's continue. Johnson, you ready to continue until Kera get in again?
Yeah, I can continue, but are they, he's speaking halfway. How long is it for him to come in? I can start mine if
I don't know.
if you want.
I don't know.
Okay.
You can start because I can see him.
You can? Yeah, if you join, you can
No.
see him, right? Not yet.
Yeah, I can see. I can see him when he tries to join.
Okay.
So you
I'll
do.
share mine. Yeah, I'll do mine first.
You do first. Oh, here, Kera. Wait.
This?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is now.
You hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, now I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, again we continue again. Maybe raining. My side here raining.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. In Malaysia,
You're
it's
not.
like that.
Yeah. How far you are guys each other?
30 minutes.
20 minutes.
30.
Yeah.
20 to 30 minutes.
And your side raining? Johnson's side is not raining?
Already finished. Finished.
Oh, maybe the same cloud coming from your side as well, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now,
so
okay.
okay.
Good.
All right. So I am back. Okay, good. So let me show you. So this is the setting here. So do you guys hear me just now? Do I need to repeat?
Yeah. It's okay now.
Everything's
Not
good.
like
So okay. So this location is far away from the cities for sure because we want to avoid the light pollutions. And also just now I mentioned about the application. So you can go Apple Store or the Play Store from your Android or iOS to download the application, find the direction for the Milky Way because you need to know where is the nice direction because the Milky Way is quite long. It's huge and long, so you need to know which part of Milky Way is the most beautiful and the most color. So the most beautiful and the most colorful. So there's always a big part of the Milky Way is the most colorful. So that's our purpose. And you need to know also the month of full moon. If you have a full moon, you can't shoot the Milky Way like this. Okay, so these photos only when we shoot without moon. Okay, without moon. So without any light pollution. Also the moonlight also one of the light pollution for these photos. So okay, so there's a setting there. Focal length 14 mm. So I use my 1424 from Nikon, and you can see here the exposure setting 13 second. Okay, 13 second, and aperture 2.8, ISO 2000. So the first thing to do is expose for the background. Okay, first tips, expose for the background, not for the subject, because we need to make sure the sky can be seen and enough light for the sky and inside your photos. So first thing, expose for the background, and then so the first thing is ISO 2000 for the setting, and 2.8 the biggest aperture for my 1424. So you don't need to care about you need to use f8 or f11. Some people ask me why you don't use f8 because we are not shooting landscape. We are still shooting for the portrait because we are shooting for a wedding couple. So our target is the couple. So the couple is our subject. So 2.8 for this one, you still can see the star behind the subjects on the sky is clear. All right, it's clear. So not big deal. So and the 13 second, I try to reduce the time. Try to reduce the time for shooting because of the always when we're shooting at the midnight, something like this one, like what time we shoot? I think around 12 or 1 o'clock a.m. Okay, so it's quite late, and you know it's quite cold as well. So I don't want to let my clients feel uncomfortable. So they freeze. So they can't give me a nature expression. So I need to reduce the time and make them feel more.
oh
So
fuck again.
13 seconds
Again.
one.
You start lagging again.
That's the whole setting. And hear me?
No, it's raining again.
Can you hear me?
No.
We can hear, but no visual.
You hear me? No?
I don't hear either. It's visual no, freeze, and also the voice is lagging all the time. maybe Johnson continue, and hopefully by when he finish, the rain will pass from your side, then the Wi-Fi is better.
You're gonna ask him to rejoin while I start?
Yeah. So let's
But now
I
it's
can't
okay.
hear you as well.
Now it's okay.
It's like you speak like an Aryan.
Yeah. Now it's okay again. I don't know.
Okay. So how? Okay, let me.
Oh,
No.
you
Okay,
kick him out?
Johnson, you do it. Yeah. No, he kicked himself.
He kicked himself out. Okay.
So, someone
Yeah,
asking
I'm gonna
how
share
much
screen.
is the exposure of taking this. I remember I've seen on his email that the exposure for this photo was 13 seconds.
Yeah, 13 seconds. It has to be on a tripod then.
And one more question: if he used Jason Group say it was my fault. Someone asking, did you use light painting for the photo or speed light? Both. I remember that he mentioned before was both. Light painting.
I continue?
Here.
It's here again?
Okay.
Okay.
It's here again, but I think what you need to do, maybe Johnson continue. It's still raining in your place?
Yeah, I think it's the
I think
same.
now it's okay. Now it's okay.
I think it's the same. We just continue. Okay, I make it faster.
Okay.
And then I pass to Johnson.
Okay.
Let me make a comment. Bad
Oh,
weather.
my side
here.
is raining now.
Oh,
My area is raining again.
Okay, let me continue.
But my line is 500 MB.
Okay, can you see the screen?
One question for the picture. How was the model sharp after 15 seconds of holding?
Sorry? Tripod.
How is the model sharp after 13 seconds? No, the model, not the picture, the model.
The subject.
Okay, I can share with them later. So now smooth the line. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Question for you, Kera.
Okay. So let me talk about the things we need to do after the camera setting. Okay. So camera setting now we're done, and then now we need to know what is the lighting for the subjects. So I place the subjects just behind the car there. You can see, and two lights I use. One is the flash, and the other one I use LED. So you can see inside the car. Inside the car, there's a LED light in front. In front of the car, you see. Okay, so that's the LED, and the other one is the flash for the subjects. And now, how to make a subject sharp? So you can see, the subject is sitting down, and the hand is holding his head, and everything is lean with each other. So with this pose, it's easily to get the sharp photos. All right. So you can't do it without anything holding the hair, touching the body. You need things to support. So always the tips here, if you want to shoot something like this and to get the sharp subjects with a 13 second, 20 second, even 25 second or 30 seconds, you make sure the subject sitting down, lean on something, or maybe you shoot a couple, they lean each other. Okay, so they have things to support each other. Okay, so this one, use the hand to support everything, and also the car support him. So that's it, very simple. So that's a tip. I don't recommend you to make a standing pose, because standing pose is very difficult unless you have a tree, or maybe you have something to let the couple or to let the subjects to stand and close to the thing and lean on that, and then you can get a sharp subject. All right, I hope you get it. Okay, so there's the whole ideas and the technique I use for these photos, and very simple. So now I go to the second photos. So this one is one of our workshop photos from where? Myanmar? Oh no, Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Right?
Cambodia.
Yeah. from Cambodia. Yeah. So this one is very simple. I just use one flash, speed light. Okay, speed light. I think I use Vortex. Yeah, I use Vortex. I use the flash from Nick. I remember. And the flash, how I like the subject, how I use the flash to light the subjects. I put the flash bouncing to the ceiling, the corner. Okay, the corner of the ceiling. So it's a 45-degree angle, and then the ceiling reflect the light back to the subjects. So that's why I get the soft quality of light. Okay, so this is very soft quality of light. You can see it's like a soft box, and and the whole thing is you get the nice light for the bright. So my main subject is the bright. So and then follow the nose, and then you can see the highlight on the face, and then you can see the shadows on the chin, and beautiful and nice. So very simple. And then when go for compositions, negative space always. So a lot of line going on these photos, but we still have some small areas, small space to help us to place the subjects in the negative space. Right. So here's the setting. Focal length 58. So this one I remember I use 70. I think what is that?
2470.
No, 2470. Yeah, 2470. So I shoot from far, a little bit far away, and then I try to. I still remember I go up to a second level, second floor, and then the second floor can go through. There's a window. I think go through the window and see.
Again, third time. But your Wi-Fi is working perfectly. Only his Wi-Fi is not working well.
Yeah.
It's okay?
No.
No.
It's working for 5 minutes and lagging again after that.
The quota finished.
Oh.
The internet quota.
Yeah, I removed him from the screen, stream, because it's not making any sense. We can see him now. I don't know. Okay, you continue, guys. You continue, Johnson.
I'll continue?
Yes.
Okay, good. Share the screen.
Jay's asking if he's sharing the slides from his computer. I think so, yes.
Yes, he is.
We all
you can
do
see now?
this way.
You can see now?
Yep.
Wait. So I can see myself.
Not now. Now it's infinity.
Now?
Yes.
Now it's good, huh? Okay. While we're waiting for Keda, I'm gonna continue so we don't waste much more time. And I think it's raining before I start. It's even raining my side. It's just started to drizzle again. It has been raining the whole day, and it stopped when we're having dinner. And now it's raining again. That's good since we're indoor anyway. So today we're going to show you a little bit more examples on how we set up each location and given different situations, and how we actually make the best use of our light. So here is one example. So you can see that here. It looks kind of like you have the light coming in, and you have the assumption that there's a light coming in from the far left. But in reality, this is just a plain natural light. So this is the diagram. You can have them coming in, and the lighting angle, the light source is actually pretty extreme. So you actually get a lot of shadow on the camera side because you have the short lighting onto them. So what I did in post-production is that you lift up and compensate for the shadow so they appear that you have a fill light, so everything looks clean. So the the tip here would be to get your exposure as accurate as possible, so that you have no problem actually compensating and brightening up the dark areas. Keda is back in?
I think so. Let's
So
see.
here's another good example. This is one where you have a really simple yet sophisticated bullseye composition. But the tip would be to place the light behind them. And you can see that there's more shine on the bride's face instead of the groom. So you can actually see that the light is on the groom side. So you're actually making use of the further face of the groom to actually bounce onto the bride, and to make sure that you don't have overexposed highlights. Make sure that the white areas are controlled, and you place the light source nicely with a proper distance, so that you don't have too much of a light spill onto unwanted areas. And there's actually no field light in front. So, and again, you have to actually capture it at an accurate exposure in order to bring up the dark areas. So Nick, you let me know when you have any questions coming up. So this is the diagram.
Yeah.
So you need one speed light, bride and groom, camera, and two hands.
I have a question. I mean, if we're using any presets for the final images, if we're using any presets.
Presets, yeah, from the F3 presets.
Yeah.
From the F3 presets. Yeah, if you have them already, try to make good use of them. And it is actually catered to create our style with our shooting style. And if you want something that is bright, airy, romantic, it will not create stuff like that. But if you're shooting close to our style with lights and stuff as stated on the preset names, and it will give you really similar effect, very close, because we have very, very good response from them, from the 3 volumes that we've created in our F3 Lightroom presets collection. So this is another example of the backlight technique. But here you will notice that the light source, can you see it? So how do you identify the light source? Is to see where the shadow is and where the light is. So here, if you were to read an image, you can see that the light source, the speed light, is actually placed low. I would say somewhere near the elbow area of the bride, because you can see the long shadows of them, and they are like actually 2 meters away from the subjects, because you can see somewhere here. You can see this line here. Like I always say, I always teach in our class, the shadows will never lie. So you study the shadows carefully, so that you know how each setup is being done. So you know where the lights are placed, the perfect angle, and also the light projection and the spill. So this is how we actually study an image. So for this one, full power. You have a full power, and it is actually 2. So it's 2 of them at the same distance, and they are actually projected out and up, because I want to actually illuminate the wider areas here. So if you don't spill outwards, you won't get all these visible raindrops on the far left and the far right. So it's important that you make use of the zoom control in your speed lights. And if you're using a strobe, you can use like zoom reflector, or you can use magnum, or you can have grids and all sorts to actually shape the light to make it wide or make it narrow as you want. So 2 lights, full power, both of them, because this was actually shot really early. This is not near near to sunset or after sunset. This is not blue hour either. This is like probably 3 p.m. It was raining, but it's not as dark as it seemed. It's still pretty bright. So in order to actually achieve this effect, you need full power to actually compress and minimize the ambient as much as possible. So before we go to the next one, Nick, can I check with you? I'm doing okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're going
Yeah,
well.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Where's Keda? He's in?
Kera is writing on the group. I see what he's writing. My line is very unstable, so he can't log in, I guess.
Maybe he didn't pay for the bill. Okay. So we have this one.
I have one question.
Yep.
Only speed lights, no modifier for this, but I think you answered already for that, right?
Yes. No, I haven't. Yes, just bare speed light. This was shot even before the Magmod era. I think this was 2013 or 2012. I don't remember, but we don't need 2013 or 2014, around that. We don't even have Magmod back then.
Kera mentioned on the chat group that here is bad weather with the thunderstorms make the Wi-Fi line unstable.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah.
Maybe you asked him to try to join with his phone or something, just to join and not having to share anything.
Yeah, maybe he's watching right now. That's why he's answering. So I guess he can try. You can try from your phone, Kera.
Yeah. Or otherwise, you can do the following week. We can just do 2 of us, and he's gonna do the following week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, back to this. This was the era where there's no Magmod. It was just the post Gary Fong era, right, Nick?
Gary Fong.
It was just after the Gary Fong. Yeah, it was just after the Gary Fong, but before the Magmod. It was
the millionaire photographer.
Yeah.
The millionaire photographer. That was before you became the millionaire photographer.
So all the Chinese photographers, Asian photographers, they're rich, you're saying?
Not all. Only you.
Not all. No. So let's look at this other example. So you can see that you have lights with two different and opposite direction. You have the light coming in from the doors and onto the bride, but you have another light source coming in onto the groom. But this is where I love shooting, where this is a technique where you actually mix both ambient and artificial light.
Okay.
So in order to achieve this effect, you need to slightly minimize. You slightly need to minimize your shutter speed so that you can absorb a little bit of ambient. So this is especially effective if you're shooting like you want to have a strong backlight coming in from the huge window and to have a blown up look, but then there's not enough sun. So this is where you can lower the shutter speed, maybe 60th of a second, 80th of a second, or even lower if you can. And in this one, I added a video light. So the video light not only illuminates the groom to create a nice split lighting. As always, I love using split lighting on grooms to create the masculinity of the character. At the same time, the light source coming in from the far right is also lighting up the back of the bride, and you can see the bareback cutting design of the dress and of the satin as well. Lights up really nicely, and I always place my light outside of the frame, so you don't have to spend time to actually remove that after. Okay. So in this scenario, you don't have to even place one light outside to light up the bride. You just need one. So to start this off, you can just shoot and you can expose for the bride. And after that, you place the groom in and then you adjust the video light accordingly. So this is one good example where a very simple lighting setup, but it needs some tweak and also fine sophistication, and the deciding factor would be the distance and the power of the light
someone
source.
mentioned, I make it visual, the comment that I think you can read the comment, no?
Yeah, I can read it. I can read it.
Okay.
I'm not looking at my phone. Let me just look at it again.
When you mention video light, is the one that LED I demonstrating last week? No, that was the video light I used the last week. I demonstrate is a new one.
Oh yeah,
like
my one is the better one, better than Nick's.
Chinese old one, very cheap, like maybe $10, $15 or something like that. And another one question. What's the reason of you choosing video light in the previous photo instead of using flashlight? Is that easier to control?
Oh, this one? Yeah, definitely video light. You can see. You can see. But then flashlight, you don't have the speed light, you don't have modeling light. And the modeling light is still not as accurate as video light. And video light, it's soft as well. So I want to avoid you having spill on the far left. So if you use a flash, you need something really soft, like a sphere and a grid, so that they don't spill all over. So I want something soft in order not to get even shadow on the bright lower left side here. So that's why I opted for a video light. I want it soft, and I wanted something, what you see is what you get. Instead of having a little bit more of trial and error, we actually save time. And in this, at this shooting session, we were actually very much we're racing against time in order to actually try to finish the session, because we need to head out in a bit for a sunset shoot. So we're trying to actually rush for this one. And that's why using a video light, you can imagine you don't need to set up. You can just get the assistant or the makeup artist to place the light on the far right and just switch it on, and then, you know, just shine on them. And you can see the effect right away. So which is much faster. And the second question, what's the second question again? This is the second question, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and my
Phil is online, Salvatore Dimino is online, all of them say hello.
And Edward, to reply Edward's question earlier, my video light is, frankly speaking, mine is much older version than Nick's. His, I think, is even brighter than mine. Mine, I don't even have the function where you can turn and change the color balance. Mine is just plain cold, and you need to add like an add-on piece of gel on top. So Nick's is much better, and it actually doubles up as a power bank too, right?
Yeah. Power bank. You charge your
that's
phone.
a good option. That's a good option. So this is another great example, because during our workshops, even F3 workshop, I've been pitching out how you actually need to master to control the light spill. But when you run out of options, you only have one light. This is actually what happened. We just went out because I just tagged along. They were actually shooting a video session, and this was at the Renaissance St. Pancras at London, and we just went just near to the train station. And I had only one camera, one lens, and one light. I didn't even bring my camera back. And I saw, oh, this is a nice arch over there. And you can actually see the kicker light on the bright coming in from the far right. This is actually the sunlight coming in. So I just illuminate both of the subjects with one light, and the light source is just behind here, behind this pillar on the left. And in order to achieve that, you need to actually angle the light and to feather them, so the less power is on the groom and the more spill and power is on the bright, so that they are actually balanced and equal. because the groom is much closer to the light source, and the bright is so much further. And also you need to play around with the zoom distance as well. This is a Pro Photo A1. It comes with a round head, so it's much easier to control than a rectangular head. And you can actually control the zoom distance as well, so you can actually illuminate both of them nicely. And the raw image is pretty much like this. I just added some yellow to the lights on top, and that's it. Yeah, this one. Okay, and coming to the next one, I'll just talk about one more before we pass to Nick. All right. So this image was the one we did in the F3 Taiwan, right, Nick?
One question about the previous one.
Which one?
They asking the one with you shoot in London. Yes, this one. What time was it?
No. It's not a night shooting. This was early, because it's really dark, and we shot this maybe 10 a.m. in the morning. It was 9:30 or 10. We just got back from the morning session actually. So around 10 to 9:30 or 10. It's around there. Yeah, but can see the settings. Yeah, it's pretty dark, because even though you can see it's light, the aperture was very much open, 6.3. So explains that the very dark situation here.
Alex,
and to get going to this image, we shot this at the F3 workshop in Taiwan. I still remember we didn't have the umbrella actually. They were just dressed, both of them were dressed in this Chinese outfit. It's a matching red with gold. But the umbrella we actually borrowed from someone else, another group. They're shooting cosplay. They had some nice cosplay with a girl wearing nice, sexy outfit with the umbrella. And we managed to borrow it for like 5 to 10 minutes. So they were both lit with, you remember, huh?
Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan. They were both lit with 2 Pro Photo A1s. 2 of them. So I brought 2 A1s. This was before the B10 Plus era. So A1 was really handy. I always still bring one because it's so easy to control. It's really small and mobile, and you can get the best out of it. So that's why Godox copied them, right? You have to agree. And see that you have one A1 that's really close to them. But again, remember, as I always said, the A1, the light source is always outside of the frame. It's around here, always outside of the frame. And it is attached with a Pro Photosoft bounce. So this is a bounce light. It's not directional light. And we're shooting with very dark condition. You can see ISO 2500 and 80th of a second. And the second light on from the back is actually to illuminate the raindrops. So the raindrops. The session, it was raining the whole session from morning to night.
All day long.
Yeah, all day. We're all drenched. And the trick to actually achieve this is this light over here. This light. It's never facing the subject. If you face the subject, you get strong highlights on the groom, or you get it spill on this wall, and you create unwanted highlights, overexposed highlights. And this light is actually bounced onto here. You can see that because it's starting to actually break, and because you bounce it here and it actually spreads like a wall. So this is the strongest part, which we can't see. Okay, so it softens and it actually evens out. So it illuminates the raindrops, and you can still see a little bit of overexposed here, which I have carefully handled in post-production. As you know, Canon is it's well controlled for the highlight in the exposure. So you just need to control the shadow. And what I just did in post-production was to actually add a little bit of yellow and deset. So this is the before photo. Okay. You can see the light source here. You can see a little bit of flare, just a tiny bit peeking into the frame. And if I'm not mistaken, I was actually using my hand to actually cover a little bit so it doesn't spill into the frame. And this light is bouncing here. Okay. So you can see, as long as you get the exposure correctly, you can fix it up. Everything done inside one frame. And you control one more thing to take note would be to control the angle of the faces, because you can see that the bride is actually facing the groom with the body. But how you see that I have gotten her to turn her face on the opposite direction, because that's where a light source is. And you can have both of them cleverly using the short lighting technique, as explained by Keda in the previous episode, if you guys did tune in the previous week. So any questions before I pass it on to Nick? Any questions, Nick?
No, we don't have.
Okay, perfect.
I've saw some comments, super image, awesome, and stuff like that. But no, we don't have any question.
Yep.
Okay, so let me
So
continue
I'll
because
pass
we
to
have
Nick
another
and
10 minutes.
yep.
Okay,
And over
let
to
me
you.
remove this one. And let me see, share screen. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can do it like this, because for me it's even more complicated to share. You can see now?
No.
No, you can't. Dang.
No.
Okay, application window, I guess this one. Edit, share. And
yeah, I think it's coming up now.
Okay. Okay, and this is the picture immediately after your image on the same location.
Really?
Yeah. This is I just demonstrating so people can see how hard raining was on that time.
Oh yeah. I think I remember that one. Yeah.
Okay, and Kera is standing somewhere around here, and I have
It was before.
Yeah, and I have a speed light behind them. So I want to share. Let me see. Removing this one and add my wait. Dang, so complicated for me.
Spacebar, no?
Okay, share screen on my and share. Okay, good. I think now. Okay. So you guys both talking about more. I mean, you're talking about the speed light, and Kera before was speaking about light painting and more
night shot
stuff.
Yeah.
Night shot. Yeah, I would like to mention something about the ambient light. Ambient light, which is the first and easier part when we start shooting. Ambient light is when we're using what we have, right? The good thing is that what we see, what we get. The bad thing is not easy to be creative and do something that you have in your mind, because you always need to be rely on the natural light. But sometimes, like this image that happens, like maybe
2014
or 2015, yes, in Barcelona. And that was a day that I remember. It was August 3, because it was the birthday of my daughter. And that's why. And they stole off my backpack with all my gears before we start shooting. And and that was the camera of the couple, because I had no camera anymore, right? So I used a small camera from them. They had a small Nikon for the traveling, like DSLR, still DSLR, but the cheapest one, like 200, 300 bucks.
Euro.
And I forced to use only natural light. So if you see the light coming from the top, so I need to find a way to creating something by what I had. So I create the pose, I create the composition according to what I can feel and I can see on that time. Or this one is from our workshop in Bali, what we have in 2017 and as a fantastic3. You see, it was like maybe an hour before the sunset. And again, we have only natural light coming from the left side of the image. So I place them on the way that both of them illuminate by natural light. So, and I use many times, I'm trying to use, when I want to be fast, I'm trying to play with natural light. So again, we have light coming from this way, from this side, from the right side of the image, and 45 and more degrees, and creating we can see the shape, the texture, like we are using any kind of artificial light. What is the bad thing about the natural light? Like I said, you can't be creative as you want, as much as you want. You can't have the control, and maybe depends on the quality of the light. You can't have the best quality you want in your image instead of when you're using a big strobe, for example. The good thing is that what you see, what you get, it's easy for you to pose them. It's not so stressful, and also you don't need to overpose actually your couple. Or this one, you see, you can understand the direction of the light by watching the cat's light on her eyes. So I'm shooting actually through a glass. They are leaning on a couch, and I was shooting outside of the window, shooting through a glass. That's why I have that dreamy, soft focus. But I've seen that with my eyes, that it was looking nice. That's why I use this natural light only. So you see inside of her eyes, that is a big, actually big window, and the light coming through it. And then when we are talking about light, I mean, like continuous light, the first light that I started to use it was the Lowell. The Lowell ID light was the first one I bought, like maybe, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, maybe more. And this one, the Dido light, this is the most, the strongest light, continuous light, warm light exists in the market. So if you're looking for something very, very strong, when you beam someone from one place to the other, this is the strongest light exists in the market. It's not cheap, but it's a very theatrical and contrasty, and creating a really strong beam. Maybe you can beam someone from 20 meters, like 60 feet away, 70 feet away. So you don't. You can use it like when you're shooting indoor. You can also zoom in, zoom out. And the first time I saw this light used by someone was by Nick and Jerry Gionis, again, many years ago in Melbourne. So this image is from one of my workshops in Costa Rica a couple years ago, and I used the lower light from the right side of the image. I mean, my assistant was standing right here. So actually, like I said, it's easier to control, because it's not like the speed light. It's not like the speed light that you need to test many times and to adjust. What you see, what you get. Continuous light is like this, but you can't overpower the ambient when the ambient is strong. So when you're shooting outside and you want to use something to overpower the ambient light, and you use your own speed light as your main light, then you need to using only speed light. You can't using any LED. You can't using any other type of lighting, right? And another one, this one again, it's like a sunset hour. The light is coming from this arch. So my assistant is holding the lower inside this arch and lit on them from the sideway. And this one as well. So my assistant was holding the continuous. It's not LED. It's like tungsten. Okay, it's like you can't change the temperature. You can adjust only the power of the light. The temperature is around between 2,800 Kelvin and 3,200 Kelvin. And like, if we want to talk about the Kelvin and the color of the light, I want to demonstrating this one, which is talking about the Kelvin degrees in lighting source. I think you can find everything about the Kelvin when you Google it on your on your website, on any website about color or about photography or about light. And this is the color of light for artificial lighting source. So the lamps, it's between 2,500 and 2,900 Kelvin, and the candles is below. It's like 2,000 to 2,200. So if you want to be warmer than this, you can adjust your camera settings manually, or you can adjust your RAW file later on Lightroom or Camera Raw or any other software you are using. And I want to also share a few images from using Icelight. Icelight, you saw last week when we did the light demonstration of the actual product. Icelight was created by Jerry Gionis. Was created actually from Westcott. The company is an American company, but was designed and published by Jerry Gionis. And because of the shape of Icelight is looking like a window, it's LED, which means we can use it indoor only. We can't use any LED outdoor, not because you can, but actually because it's not powerful enough to overpower the ambient light. So this is actually the Icelight from the top, creating that soft light coming, creating this. You see this butterfly light on this portrait, and this one, and this one. And actually, you see here, I use the Icelight holding the door of this telephone booth, because this was the only way to lit their faces, because the door was only this side. And if you're watching carefully this photo, you can see that the light direction on the actual scene was on the left side so opposite actually from the place that I want to have light on the face. And the continuous light, because it was cloudy and very dark, that's why I had that small kick of a light to fill the shadows and creating this soft portrait for both of them. And this one, for example, was shooting indoor and a live demonstration in Turkey a couple of years ago. And you can see that behind the scenes was with two ice lights, one holding in front with the barn doors for her face, and one light behind her for creating some depth and headlight for our model. And the last one is this one. So again, it's a combination of two lights, one light coming from the window of the left side for her face, and I place one ice light here below down to the pool table, just to lit to fill some shadows and fill this area for his face as well. So that was from my side on this week, guys. Oh, Kera is back. Kera is back.
He's back.
He's back.
He's back.
I'm waiting.
I can see you. I can see you.
So when he finally joined, he is the line is fast first. So he got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe only 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You can share. You can continue with the place you stopped before.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So okay. So I think this one is simple. Okay, just one flash. All right. So let me continue to the next one. Okay, this one also one of the workshop photos from Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Right, Cambodia. Okay, so here's the
last one we made, right? That was the last one we made.
Yeah, the last photos.
Or no, the last before. The last one we did was in LA.
Oh, you mean the workshop? The last workshop?
Yeah. The last workshop we made was LA. After that was lockdown.
Yeah, that's right. So again, super wide angle, 1424. I use 14 because I want to make the impact from the view, and the exposure here you can see I use 1/8 seconds because I want to make a view softer, and then f14 1006 ISO. So here's a simple light setting here. Only one speed light. Okay, only one speed light. You can see from the face. Okay, so you can see from the face the highlights. So get the direction from the left side, and then go follow the nose, and then bouncing to the subject. And also I trying to use the feathering light, so you don't get too much light on the floor. Okay, so you don't get the light spot. Okay, so try to balancing the light. Always you can try to tilt the light and then use the feathering light. And very simple. So negative space, that's it. So always my theory about create the masterpiece is always the side lighting, 45 degree, create the highlight and shadows for the subjects. And then I want to make sure the background is clean to place my subjects, which is negative space. Okay, and then the third one is spacing. I love to give more spacing to the photos, and then to help the audience when see the photo, they can breathe more. And also the last one is the exposure. So I always want to get the highlight details and shadow details from the background, also for the subjects, and to get the very beautiful details for the dress, especially for the wedding dress. Okay, so the next one, I need to go faster because I afraid the line is unstable. Okay, so the last one I want to share with you is this one. This is also one of the workshop photos from Bangkok.
Myanmar,
right?
Myanmar.
Oh,
Myanmar.
Oh yeah. Xuan Yi. Okay.
Xuan Yi.
I remember.
Yeah, Xuan Yi.
Yeah. Wherever you go. Yeah.
Waiting for you.
Okay. So you can see from this photo, the special thing is the framing, right? So I shoot through from the door, okay, and there's a nice texture on the door, and then I shoot through. It's like a small window for me, and then a nice framing. And the thing is, I need to get enough light from this low light situation. So this is low light situation. We shoot inside, and inside with that, there's no ambience, quite dark. So I use ISO 2000. You can see here, ISO 2000, and also I don't want to shoot the biggest aperture because I want to have a nice details from my texture, the windows. So I try to set 6.3. Okay, so 6.3 f-stop. So the aperture 6.3 can have a nice flower. You can see the flower here. Okay, so the minimum for me handheld, I using handheld, so 1/60 second. Okay, 1/60 second is good for handheld, and that's it. So 35 mm for this one. So this is the camera setting and the lens I use, and also I use one speed light again. Okay, one speed light. So the light is come from outside the window, so you can see the texture. So this is also one of the purpose I want to have in my photos. So the textures from the windows, there's a highlight and shadow, create a texture. Okay, and you can see again face work together. the nose work with the light source, so you can get a highlight on the face and then the shadow on the chin. Okay, same with the bride and same for the groom. Okay, and very simple, very easy. So expose for the ambience. If you ask me how to get the first step, so this one I expose for the ambience. And the second thing is place the subjects. And the third thing is what is the light setup. And the last one is click. That's it. All right.
Okay. So I think we done. We are speaking like 1 hour and 5 minutes already. And next week, we are not going to have next week any webinar. We are planning to have 2 weeks later for the next one. Most likely
we'll announce again. We'll announce again.
Huh?
No worries.
We'll
announce
again.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would like to mention something about competitions. The next one. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you guys. You've been part of this. If you wanted to watch it again, you can follow our YouTube channel. You can subscribe and you can notify when we are publish anything in the real near future. Thank you guys to be part of this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.